You really are of 5D or beyond. September 5, 2016. Dear ones, the messages you access confuse many of you. You are of 5D. 2. You cannot possibly be of 5D until you do this. 2. You will not be 5D in this lifetime. So you shift between feeling quite pleased with what you have mastered to feelings of despair that all your work, and it has been work, is for naught in this lifetime. That someday your grandchildren might experience the results of this amazing transition, but certainly not you in your current physicality. You are indeed on the unique path, a path you created. The messages that seem to contradict one another are for humans in various evolutionary stages. Perhaps your best friend is just starting to acknowledge his value. Or someone you know is becoming interested in crystals, chakras, astrology, or channeling, pieces you access years, maybe decades ago. Some of those just awakening need to explore their dark side, and so they are enthralled with messages that speak to that part of themselves. Others need to believe that someone in a spaceship will provide them with the knowledge they will never have without assistance from someone wiser than they feel they are. And so it goes, as each entity explores those pieces that motivate them to move forward. Many messages shared via the internet or seminars are not designed to motivate you, because you have moved beyond that place. Yet, you believe you will miss something if you do not access the materials, if you do not meditate correctly or work with the right instructor/guru. One of the more difficult pieces in learning to love yourself is acknowledging that you have all the information within you. Such is so for you have work is the correct word, for months and years to reach this point of completion. Not necessarily a completion in the sense of being totally of 5D or any dimension you access beyond that. But completion in that you are no longer of 3D or 4D. Many of the messages you explore are directly related to transitioning beyond 3D or 4D, to where you already are. You are there. You are no longer of 3D or 4D. Such a thought is difficult for you to internalize, for you believe you do not love yourself enough, are not compassionate enough, you do not know your path, etc., etc., etc. Which is little different from your school days when you decided you could not learn a specific subject the first day of that class. But as you learned about that subject through class attendance and homework, you mastered the course. So it is now. You are of 5D or beyond, but because you have not mastered the 5D or beyond skills, you believe you never will or that you will remain a 3D earth being in this lifetime. Did you expect to wake up one morning totally enmeshed in 5D or beyond with skills you cannot even yet envision? So it is that you have started in the first grade, if you will, of 5D or beyond. If you were of 3D, you would enjoy the political upheavals that generate wars in various parts of the physical world, or the war of beliefs of the philosophical wars. There would be no sunshine in your life, for life would feel hard, cold, and competitive. Instead, you are discovering a sense of compassion in many areas of your life. True, that compassion does not yet extend to every part of your life, it is an evolving, growing process. You, as human beings, did not learn 3D hate and fear in a few months. Such learning took eons. You are evolving to 5D or beyond at an amazing pace, you are daring to do so in one lifetime. And you, is the appropriate word, for not everyone will shift as rapidly or far. Some will remain in 5D first grade throughout this lifetime. Others will approach 5D, but be too frightened to enter. All the while, you Scoutmasters are flying through first grade and most definitely beyond. You could not be a Scoutmaster if you were afraid to enter 5D or beyond, for your title describes an adventurous person who explores that which others have not yet explored. Those at the beginning of their transition, questioning the validity of 3D fear and hate, will likely be enthralled with thoughts of space aliens saving them, or with learning about astrological signs. You probably started your transition in much the same way. The difference is that you now know there is something beyond 3D, and are focused on what is before you, instead of what you are comfortable with, via your eons of 3D Earth lives. So it is that the messages scattered throughout your internet, the various seminars, Channels and tools, such as crystals, are yours to use as you wish. The same is true of those just beginning to question the validity of 3D. Some of you are confused, for a particular channel might feel and sound very inviting, but does not provide you with new information. Or the teacher offers information that seems outdated to you, even though that teacher is adamant about the worth of their materials. Some teachers are teaching others that 3D is no longer valid. Others that 3D is valid as long as certain entities are removed. And still others, that 3D is where it is at. Those of you reading these and similar materials have moved beyond those places. You no longer need to explore 3D, for your coursework is far beyond that. Trust your intuition being to find those materials that help you better understand you, whether 5D, beyond 5D, or 3D materials. You are your teacher. And a large part of your self-teaching role is to access those materials that feel right. Anything else is confusing and a time waster. Even though you have learned that time is shifting, you will remain in the first level of 5D as long as you feel the need to access materials that provide you with incorrect, you will know within, or incomplete information. So it is you once again must assure yourself that you know more than anyone what you are capable of, how the world is shifting and your passion within that shift. You might not access all those pieces immediately, for most of you are in your beginning 5D classes, but you will. And to read or process materials you have moved beyond is a waste of your time. Granted, you might have a passion for teaching those materials to others following you, but that is different than accessing materials because you do not feel you know enough about being comfortable in 3D. You remain part of your 3D world, but your new sensations and feelings move you beyond most of the fear and despair that is now the 3D world. And as you expand within your 5D or beyond learnings, that fear and despair will feel further and further away from you and your new being. So be it. Amen. Channeled by Brenda Hoffman. www.lifetapestrycreations.com